Brand Flash with Martin Lindstrom.
Can you imagine something as extraordinary as a Prada mobile phone? Or what about a Bulgari hotel? Or just imagine a Marni flower store. Sounds crazy? Well, it's not. It actually has already become a reality. This week I'm in Milan, the world's fashion capital in Italy, and I'm exploring the very concept of how to extend brands into the extraordinary. Right now behind me you actually have the world's first Bulgari hotel, and actually it's the first hotel in the world with extending its brand from jewelries into the hotel and resort business, and it's doing pretty well. They have one property here in Milan, and they have one property in Bali, and planning to open one in Paris and probably one in United Arab Emirates. It's not the first chain moving from fashion into this field. You probably saw my blog from the Versace, which is opening right now as we speak one hotel in UAE. And then of course we have the Marni chain, which are planning to do one hotel there as well. It seems to be a trend, and my big question of course is, how far can you stretch a brand? Well, just think about Ferrari. Ferrari recently extended its brand into the laptop business, releasing a laptop which have 3 layers of original Ferrari paint on it. And of course you can imagine the Ferrari startup tune on that laptop is pretty distinct too. But the question is, what do you do to extend a brand that far? Well, here's a couple of pieces of advice. First of all, if you are planning to extend the brand, you need to find out how much you can stretch it. And the biggest and the most important question is, of course, how do you do that? Well, first of all, take a look at the values you stand for. It may be that you realize that the values you stand for simply doesn't match with the new category you go into. With this hotel, you will see that they actually have a range of different core values. Luxury is one of them. Extreme service is another one, which is exactly what you feel when you are in the hotel. Or what about quality to the highest level? That's exactly what you feel here. These are core values which are managed to keep alive during every detail in the hotel. So that's number one. Number two, you need to justify that you're moving into this new category, but justifying the feeling you have in the first property into the second property. In fact, when you go into a Bulgari jewelry store, you'll feel exactly the same as you do when you walk into this hotel. It may not be a coincidence, because the team supposedly behind this particular brand is actually a team which is hired from Procter & Gamble. So this is not just a coincidence that they really know how to build brands. But the third thing is pretty interesting, because what's happening is a sensory experience. In fact, the smell you have in every room, in every hotel piece of lobby, everywhere in the whole hotel is exactly the same smell as what you're exploring in the store. Why? Because they own their own smell. They also go so far that even the handles on the taps in the toilets is actually branded, not just with the logo, but all the shapes are exactly the same as the shape of the perfume, a very well-known and distinct perfume they released a couple of years ago. This is a brave new way of building brands. The trick, of course, is not to go too far. And we're seeing time after time that brands are going too far. For example, you saw about 15 years ago that Gillette was planning to release a new car. It seems pretty strange at that time. But you know what? It may be it's becoming a reality these days, where consumers are getting used to brands extended into the most extreme level of categories. I hope you enjoyed this brand flash. Join me another place next week where I'm going to explore new and innovative ways of building brands. See you then.
Brand Flash by Martin Lindstrom. Innovative branding from around the world.